Recording in progress.
Start my recording. All right. This is the February 25th, 2025 open meeting, the Hopkinton Conservation Commission being conducted remotely consistent with an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. The new law authorizes all members of a public body to continue participating in meetings remotely. The open meeting law's requirement that a quorum of the body and the chair be physically present at the meeting location remains suspended. For this meeting, the Hopkinton Conservation Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom app is posted on the town's web meeting calendar and the Conservation Commission agenda identifying how the public may join. Additionally, the meeting may also be broadcast by HCAM through one or many of its channels or platforms. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that others may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Supporting materials that have been provided to members of the commission for this meeting are available on the town's website. This meeting will feature public comment. After commission members and staff have discussed each project application on the agenda, the chair will open the discussion to public comment. Members of the public who wish to speak are asked to identify their name and address. 3 minutes will be afforded for each public comment. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted via roll call of the members. I will now confirm which commission members are present. Ed?
Present.
Jim?
Present.
Janine?
Present.
Ted?
Ted is present.
Heather?
Present.
Matt?
Present.
And myself, Melissa. We have a full house tonight. And I'll now confirm staff that are present. Judy?
Present.
Anna?
Present.
And Joe?
Present.
I was present. All right. All right, so I guess first off, I'll just go over, we had quite a few continuations on the agenda, crossed off hearings. So I'll just point out to everyone on the call, our new hearing for 12 North Mill was continued to March 11th. The 12 North Mill continued hearing was also continued to March 11th. 0 Wood Street was continued to March 11th, and also the 30 West Main Street application was continued to March 11th. So we won't be discussing any of those hearings. I will open the new hearing, but we won't discuss it tonight. With that being said, we can go down to, we don't have any documents for review. We do have minutes from November 26, 2024. So does anyone on the commission have any comments on those minutes or not have enough time to review them? No. All right. Hearing that, I will go ahead and ask for a motion to approve the November 26th,
I'm happy to
2024.
make that motion.
All right, can I get a second?
This is Ed. I'll second.
All right, then all in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. All right. So next up on our work session, we have Heritage Properties, the Trails at Legacy Farms. I don't know if I saw Vin or Peter come into the call yet. Just scrolling through right now.
I don't see them either, Melissa.
Okay. All right, we'll skip over that one for now, see if they show up fashionably late, but hopefully not too late because we have a short agenda. And I will go up to the new hearing, and I just have to read this and then we're gonna immediately continue it. So the Hopkinton Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, February 25th, 2025 at 7 p.m. virtually online to hear all persons interested in a notice of intent filed by Louis Petrosi of Wall Street Development Corp. To construct a new single-family home, driveway, and associated site work. Location is 12 North Mill Street, Assessor's Map R19, Block 23, Lot E. Can I get a motion to continue this out to the next hearing on March 11th?
So
This is
moved.
Ed. I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Great. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Ted,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. All right. Speeding right along. We'll go to 12 Maple Street Extension, notice of intent continuation for single family house. Do we have someone from the audience to present the changes that have been made? Yep.
Yep. So good evening, folks. My name is Chris Frattaroli. I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard Consulting, here on behalf of the D'Angelos for the construction of this single family house at 12 Maple Street Extension. Since the last time that we had discussed at your meeting, we've had a little bit of back and forth with Joe offline. We submitted some revisions following the last hearing. Notable changes include moving the house entirely outside the 50-foot buffer. We've included some vegetated pavers for a portion of the fire department turnaround. We've reoriented the garage to be a front load configuration. Joe had issued some additional comments to hopefully kind of start to put a bow on this, and we had submitted some responses to those comments as of yesterday. So just to walk through Joe's comments, mostly all addressed at this point. He notes that, the proposed dwelling is now located a little over 50 feet from the nearest wetland resource area. You can see that setback shown off of that top corner there. We've also, as I said, adjusted to a front load garage. What we're doing as far as work within the 0 to 50 now, as it stands, is that really just the driveway. So we have about 2,600 square feet of existing hard packed gravel that, for all intents and purposes, is essentially impervious. That is coming out. It's getting paved, as we know, and that amounts to about an 1,100 square foot increase in impervious surface within the 0 to 50. That is the only increase in impervious in the 0 to 50 at this point in the project. So we had provided you a revised Hopkinton supplement, just outlining those numbers there. We've also, as Joe noted, pared down the planting area a little bit, and that is as a result of pulling all of this work further away from wetland resources as we've done so far. So we've reduced the planting area from the previous iteration by a little over 600 feet or square feet, about 611 square feet to be precise. And that was due to the reduction in the footprint of work within the 0 to 50 buffer zone. So previously the house, as we know, was in that inner 50 feet, and that was over 1,600 square feet of impervious that we've been able to pull out of that 0 to 50 buffer. So in doing so and reducing that footprint by over 1,600 square feet, we've shrunken our planting area by about 600 square feet. There were a couple other more minor comments towards the end. Joe had asked for some additional information on some of the pool equipment. So The pool and pool deck is going to be a typical in-ground pool, concrete pool deck surround. The filtration system for that pool is going to be such that it does not require backwashing like your typical sand filter. There's some cartridge filters that require a little bit more maintenance, but don't need to be backwashed, so we can avoid having to worry about that. Anytime that water level needs to be drawn down, it's going to be pumped off site via a tanker truck. We're not proposing any sort of discharge on the site of that pool water. And then lastly, there was a note on the site plan that had mentioned the use of hay mulch for temporary stabilization. That's been changed to address it as straw mulch. So that is the gist of our changes since the last time we had spoken. We're still providing that revegetation area. We're converting lawn into naturalized area around the perimeter. So hoping to protect the interests of the act and the bylaw in doing so. We've got those permanent and movable barriers along that perimeter, erosion controls surrounding the thing, stabilized construction entrance to further mitigate any concerns of erosion or sedimentation. And we've also reduced that impervious footprint by turning some of that turnaround into grassed pavers. So happy to take any questions that there might be.
All right, thank you for going over that. And I think one of the questions we had last time was just about the fire department. Is the fire department on board with what you're proposing here for the pavers and everything shown on the plan?
Yep. So we had been, Nick, the applicant, had been coordinating with Tom Poirier from Fire, and his take on it essentially was that they prefer pavement, but they understand the concerns and the grass pavers are an acceptable alternative. We included a snippet of that email conversation in our latest submittal.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to go ahead and turn to Joe and see what you have to say, Joe, regarding your comments and how they're being addressed.
Yeah, I think Chris touched on all the comments that I had in my second review memorandum. And with the revisions that have been made to the most current plan that we see here, I think all of my outstanding comments have been addressed. And I think at this point, it's just a matter of the commission discussing the impacts and the mitigation, and if they're happy with what has been proposed and what's been revised.
Okay. I think one thing that jumps out at me or that I wanted to ask about is along the swale, the buffer zone that's being created there, and that width from the PIB to the swale. Can you put a dimension on that and compare that to what we've required on the previous filings that we've had along the swale?
Yeah, so that little strip along there, I don't have an exact measurement offhand. It's a fairly narrow corridor. It's about probably 6 or 8 feet off the property line, if memory serves. The comparison to the project just to the north of this site, it's slightly less than that, and I believe that was 15 in that instance. Again, if memory serves.
Okay. That's just something that jumps out at me. I mean, from the beginning, I think we wanted to be consistent on that buffer that we're trying to create around the swale. So I appreciate very much the house being moved out of the 50 in this version, but I would like to see that 15-foot maintained like we've required at the other projects. I'll open up to see if anyone else on the commission has any thoughts on that or anything else that's presented here for changes.
I would agree with that, Melissa.
Okay.
And I would
Yeah.
agree with,
Go ahead,
I
Ed.
would agree with Melissa and Janine.
Yeah, just same thing. And I'd like to share that, we definitely appreciate putting the effort, Chris, and working with the engineering to get this thing out of the 50-foot buffer. And we knew there were some options that would work, and this shows that is indeed the case. So that's much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always just a matter of wiggling things around. And I think if that planting strip is sort of the last remaining concern here, I think that we'd be happy to make that work.
Okay. I'll open it up to the audience, see if anyone from the public on the call has anything that they'd like to ask or share. And I don't see any. All right. So at this point in time, Joe, were there additional because you I forget what your comment letter was dated. We need another round of revisions on the plan in order to vote on this, or were you able to look at this one? And
Yeah, no, I did send an email yesterday.
yeah,
Saying that that all my comments had been addressed. So I think, what was just brought up is the only outstanding item.
okay. All right, then Chris, do you think we can get that memorialized on the plan? That 15 feet. Call
Yeah,
out.
sure thing. We can do that. I think I will definitely check with the applicant, but I think we'll be amenable to that.
Okay, great.
And Melissa,
Yes.
that will get back, I think, some of the mitigation that was removed because the house was moved out. To me, that was I'm happy the house was moved out of the 50-foot buffer,
Mhm.
but it's disappointing that was seen as a license to then do less other good. If
Mhm.
we expand along the swale there, the plantings, I think we get some of that mitigation back as well.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ted. Yep.
Through the chair, I do have one quick question. It's jumping
Yep.
out at me now. The sump pump discharge, Chris, it looks like it goes quite a ways into the backyard there, and you're closer to the resource areas.
Right.
Grade looks like it's relatively flat. Any reason that doesn't get discharged a bit sooner, so we've got some more room? Or just help me understand what's the distance we have from that discharge point to the resource.
Yeah, so we were trying to keep that discharge point outside of the lawn area of the yard, and we figured that putting it into a planted area that we're going to be seeding and planting thoroughly would be a reasonable way to kind of address that outfall there. That distance off of the resource there, I don't have it offhand. It looks to be about 20 feet to me.
Okay. Are you proposing any type of treatment at the end of that pipe? Like you got a little depressed stone area, or is this just, pumped out to grade and what
As
happens?
of now, the design is just to pump it out at grade.
Okay. I think, at least from my perspective, I think it would be beneficial given the proximity. I don't think I'm overly concerned with it being 20 feet away, but I think it would be of value to have some type of stone there at the discharge point to make sure that we're not causing erosion and sediment discharge into the resource.
Yeah,
So I'm not talking nothing crazy here, like, just a little bit of a depressed area with some hard pieces of stone, just so that initial velocity coming out of that pipe gets dissipated.
yeah, I think that should be easy enough to add.
Good catch, Matt. All right. Well, with that being said, can I get a motion to the next meeting is March 11th. Does that work for you, Chris?
Absolutely, yeah. We'd like to keep it moving along for sure.
Okay. Can I get a motion to continue this out and to March 11th?
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor? Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Ted,
Aye.
Heather,
Aye.
and Matt.
Aye.
All right. And I'm also an aye.
Thanks, folks. Have a good night.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Hawkington Stone and Garden, 28 Lumber Street, notice of intent continuation.
Yeah, good evening. Scott Goddard's here. Ryan Rosine from my office is also here. We have a representative from Newview as well, who's the applicant. And we do not have George Connors on. But I think we were pretty close to wrapping this up at the last meeting. The only remaining item was to give an opportunity for Joe from Lucas to review and comment on a couple of minor tweak adjustments that were requested to the invasive species management plan. That did happen, and we got comments back from Joe that I believe represent that him and I are aligned on the content of the ISMP. So perhaps he wants to comment on that, but otherwise I don't believe we have anything further to present to the board different than the substantive matters of the last hearing at this.
All right, thanks, Scott. Joe, did you want to add anything?
Not much to add. I think Scott stated it accurately. They did revise the invasive species management plan, and I was satisfied with the changes that were made. I had no additional comments at this point.
Okay, great. All right, so we got clean letters from our two peer review consultants on this project. The other thing that we had just asked, did everyone get to review meeting minutes and videos if they hadn't seen all of them? Everyone feel comfortable who's here tonight voting on this application? Or if anyone doesn't, speak now.
Through the chair, I'll still recuse myself there, Melissa. Thanks.
Yeah.
On set.
Else? Okay. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Anything there?
Melissa, I do.
Yep. Go ahead, Dan.
And Scott, if I misrepresent what you tried to tell me 2 weeks ago, please correct me. I just wanted to know, Joe, if you can confirm for me that Scott, and this is where I'm worried, Scott, I'm going to misrepresent what you said, that Scott said that the change to the wetland area here is, oh my gosh. Scott, could you in like 4 sentences give your explanation for why the purposes of the wetland will still be served despite the changes you're proposing? And then I just want to hear from Joe that he gives that a thumbs up.
Yeah, I don't know if I can present many things in only 4 sentences, and I just did one right there. So
I just don't want to misrepresent you, Scott. So
we basically made the case that we did a functions and values analysis and identified which functions are served by that portion of the wetland, largely flood control. And we provided a restoration of those flood control features so that functionally we were able to have a net improvement to the overall values and functions of that particular wetland.
thanks. And Joe, would you concur with that analysis? Is that part of your other concurrences?
I would concur with that. And certainly the wetland provides other functions, but I think flood control is probably the primary function. And I think they will be improving some of the other functions with the plantings, improving habitat function, and maintaining the flood control functions.
Okay, thank you, Joe. And thank you, Scott. That's all I have, Melissa.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yes, Heather.
I know I'm not voting on this, but I did have some notes from last meeting, and it looks like the invasives were addressed. Did we address how the soil will be disposed? There's like the soil replication area, and there's some soil that needs to be removed. Just wanted to follow up on that.
Was the question, Heather, regarding the soil from where? When we do the excavation of the replication areas where
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
In regards to the invasives primarily, or just in general?
In general, I think is what we had talked about last meeting.
Yep.
I'm not sure we specified a need to treat that soil in any particular way. A lot of it is gravelly, rocky, stony fill material. If that's buried in the fill of the site, we are elevating the front portion of the site and then paving over it. It's a seemingly an appropriate use to repurpose it on site.
That's fair. I know that Joe had asked about that, and I just wanted to follow up on it. Thanks, Scott.
Yep.
Through the chair, this is Ed.
Yes,
Having
Ed.
been one who's followed this from the get-go, I won't say that I'm pleased, but I'm very content with the changes and the work that you have done, Scott. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Any other comments or comments from anyone in the audience? All right. Seeing none, I think we can go ahead and vote on this one. Can I get a motion to approve this notice of intent and also get signatures by Anna or Judy?
So moved.
I will second.
All right.
Through the chair,
Yes.
can we just include that, like the special conditions Joe had mentioned in his memo, standard replication area conditions be included as part of your approval?
Yes. Thank you, Anna, for pointing that one out.
Ed, would you like to amend your motion?
Was that directed to me? I didn't make a
No,
motion.
I was directed at Ted since he made the motion.
Oh, I thought you said Ed. I couldn't remember that I made the motion. I am happy with that amendment.
I will second with the amendment.
All right. All in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Janine. Oh, yeah, Janine,
No.
Ted,
Aye.
Matt.
Aye.
Heather is recusing and I am an aye. So you are all set. Thanks for working with us, Scott.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yep. All right. Next up, 9 Chamberlain Street, notice of intent, continuation for addition pool. All right. So do we have someone on the call? Engineer,
Yes.
the applicant? Yep.
Scott Hayes, Foresight Engineering, engineer for the applicant.
Hi, Scott.
Hi. Hi. This is a buffer zone project for building additions of some building additions to a house and pool within kind of existing yard, lawn area at a house at 9 Chamberlain Street. We continued a couple of weeks ago. There was a question about whether we needed a waiver for activity on the 0 to 50 foot. Got a small piece of grading adjacent to the garage addition that's currently yard lawn area that was basically excavating, grading, and restoring to its current state, but it does require some grading in that area. So we had gotten feedback on that, and rather than contest that a waiver was required, we requested a waiver to alter that area temporarily. It's about 410 square feet, and just restore it upon completion. There's a couple of other little things we did on the plan. There's a burning bush by the shed that we designated the area generally where that is, and the method of disposal of that. And then we also revised all the permanent immovable barriers along the limit of work, which they were proposing to put boulders in and put placards on the boulders. And pretty much follow the limit of the work along the existing tree line. We've got 11 boulders, kind of work around the site. And to the exception of the area closest to the street, we're proposing mitigation planting, where we're planting 10 replacement trees for the trees we're taking down on the buffer zone. That area from that shed out to Chamberlain Street, pretty much up the property line, is currently all lawn. So that's the area we got really targeted to place the tree planting replication or mitigation for the other buffer zone tree removal. And that was about all we've done. Did you have any questions?
No, I mean, this looks like it addressed what we talked about last
If I
time.
may,
Yep.
it's Lilia Flores, 9 Chamberlain. We have also moved the medallions from the fence to the boulders to be more specific to the area that is not to be disturbed.
So they'll be with adhesive onto the boulders?
On the boulders, not
On
on
the
the
boulders.
fence. Mhm.
Excellent. Thank you. I think that'll make it more clear for sure. Anna or Judy, did you have anything you wanted to point out on this version of the plan?
Through the chair.
Yes.
No, I'm happy with the changes we've received. We have the waiver request form for work in the 50. And I think the revised PIBs are a lot more consistent, reflect the shape of the tree line, and look like they reflect the commission's comments from last meeting. So I don't have any further comments.
Okay. And Joe, you have anything to add?
No, I think there were several back and forths over the past week or so, and I think all of my comments have been adequately addressed. I think maybe the only thing that wasn't mentioned was that the flag labels on the plan were revised to accurately label the revised flags. That was one of the few changes that was also done on the plan.
Okay. Does anyone on the commission have any questions or comments on the revised plan?
Through the chair, Melissa.
Yes, Ted.
I just want to confirm I'm reading the plan correctly. I see 5 trees being removed within the 100-foot buffer and a replication of 10. So we're consistent with our 2-to-1. Am I reading that correctly?
That's correct.
Perfect. Thank you. That's all I got.
Okay.
And through the chair, this is Ed.
Yes, Ed.
Ed, the tree hugger. Can't imagine buying a house and cutting down trees to put in a pool. But that's all I'm going to say.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone from the audience? All right. With that being said, can I get a motion to approve this plan and the waiver request? I don't think we had any special conditions, did we? Anna or Judy, Joe?
Should be the standard pool
It's the
conditions,
standard,
the
yeah.
backwash, the dry well like they showed, PIBs.
Yeah. Okay. Can I get that motion with signatures by Anna or Judy?
So moved.
And a second.
And all in favor, Ed?
I'm going to say yes because I have no grounds to say otherwise.
Jim?
Aye.
Janine?
Aye.
Ed?
Ted is an aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
And I'm also an aye. So thank you all for working with us on this. And good luck with
Thank you.
good luck with your projects.
Thank you all. Good night.
All right. So now we will jump back down to work session items. I did see Vin enter the call. So we're going to go to Heritage Properties, the Trails at Legacy Farms, request to amend the January 7th commission decision for additional units to be released from the cease and desist. Vin, if you're here, I'm gonna open it up to you to just explain to us what you're requesting here. Vin, if you're talking, it looks like you're muted. You must have stepped away.
How long do we wait? They could have them come back.
I know. All right, well.
I sent him a message on Zoom, but I'm not sure. If he's not hearing you, he probably won't see that.
Okay. I mean, I think the gist of the request was just that he wanted to amend the, we had initially approved for specific lot numbers to be released, and he was looking for that to be made general to just 3 lots, not with specific numbers, but.
Melissa, he looks unmuted.
Oh, Vin, you here?
I am here. Sorry about that little technical difficulty.
That's okay. You want to go ahead and
okay.
Let us know what you're looking for?
Sure. On January 7th, we, the commission approved 3 lots, and we designated them by number, 27, 29, and 31 Waterville Lane. What I failed to do, but I was consistent because I failed in both towns, because I need to, every time we do a release, I need to, basically the release in both towns have to mirror each other. So this commission and Ashland understood my request as being just those 3 specific units. I had assumed, which was a mistake, I had assumed that this would work exactly the way the first 10 units were released back in July of 24. And that was, we had, I believe, the 10 units, even numbers starting with 4 through 22. This board approved that, and approved it with the understanding that the builder at his discretion could change but not exceed the 10 units that were being approved. So I guess I assumed in January, when it came back for the next group of 3, I assumed it was going to be the same way, where 3 units are approved, but up to the builder's discretion on where they would be located. So I had to go back to Ashland after they approved basically the same 3 units as you approved on January 7th, and had them amended, I guess, by saying that those 3 units could be at locations at the discretion of the builder. So anyways, I'm here tonight just to sort of clean that up and see if you could, amend that request and make the 3 units, the locations of the 3 units at my discretion. What I'm trying to do here is we're trying to respond to the market. We've got, several people in the mix, many buyers, many that are looking, and I just need the flexibility, as I had on the first 10 units, to locate them basically based on sales. So this time around, I came in with 3, and I just need, again, the flexibility of being able to determine the locations, because every weekend, we have open houses and things change as far as what units are being requested by buyers to move forward, and scheduling closing dates and all of that. So I would like to ask that you amend so these 3 units, 27, 29, and 31 Waterville, can be located at my discretion. And I understand that I can't go beyond that, and would come to the commission, as I'm doing in Ashland, when I want more than 3 units. So anyways, I'm just looking for a little flexibility for us to be able to do our business and respond to buyers. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thanks for coming in and explaining that. I don't see an issue with that. I think we have enough bumpers in place with the plans and approval for the schedule and staging and BMPs and erosion control measures and everything. So, we certainly want to see the projects, be constructed and things to move forward smoothly as far as getting these houses built and the project schedule moving along. So I don't know if anyone else on the commission has another view or questions, but that's my thoughts.
Hi, Melissa, through the chair.
Yes.
Mr. Gately, I'm just curious, what are the handwritten numbers on the plan we're looking at? What do those mean?
Yeah, those I also, with that, with this site plan that you're talking about, I submitted a construction schedule to sort of lay out at that point in time how we saw the remainder of the construction work being done. And in that schedule, I referred to the foundation releases by a number: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they tie into the same corresponding numbers you're seeing on the site plan. So again, when I came in on the 7th of January, I was asking for 3. You can see them numbered number 3 on that site plan, and that corresponds to the actual addresses, 27, 29, 31. So again, and I think I even made a comment a note at the bottom of the construction schedule that says that the above dates and sequence of remaining work are subject to change based on sales and marketing. And again, this is going to change. This is sort of, evolving, and it'll change, and I will be in to request probably different units, future units, than what you see on this schedule. But again, I'll be in anytime things change, and I'll submit a revised construction schedule, because that will also change as we change the actual units we want in the next release.
Okay, so great. So what it means is, if we approve your request tonight, it also means you need to rework that schedule for us, which you just mentioned, so that we can see how that works out, because that schedule is not going to make sense unless you choose to do units 27, 29, 31, even if you have flexibility. Is that true?
I think you could probably, when Vin comes in for his next request, he could resubmit this graphic here with the buildings that are completed, because we'll have 3 more completed wherever they are, and then maybe take off the numbers, the 3, 4, 5, the numbers on there. And it'll just be showing complete units versus those that are still remaining. And so you can continue to have some flexibility moving forward. I mean, I think we would consider that, depending on how things are going when you come in for your next foundation release request. But that would be my suggestion, I think. I think that would clear it up. Even if the schedule has those numbers on it, it's just sequentially numbering, like release number 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you don't have the numbers on this map right here, then it's just numerically counting out, I think. And I think that'll give you the flexibility you need.
Yeah, that's very reasonable and very workable. And I think as the way I see it, each time I come back for new units, that's when I would give you, you know, the latest construction schedule. And if you like, I'll give you the same sort of coded site plan referencing the units that we're talking about. And I'll stop marking units that are complete or previously requested, and you know, just revise both the schedule and the site plan as I come in. I think that would be a little more workable.
Okay. Does that make sense, Ted?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. I think all we're going to vote on right now is to amend the 3 so that they're not numbers, they're just units. We're not approving anything in this schedule change or this graphic. The way I see it anyway. Anyone else have any thoughts? Questions?
I think that makes sense, Melissa.
Okay.
What you're saying. Yeah.
All right. Can we get a motion then to approve the request to amend our January 7th decision for the additional units? Not to be numbered lots, but just be three lots.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
And all in favor, Ed?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Janine?
Aye.
Ted?
That is an aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Matt?
Aye.
And I am also an aye.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, Vin.
Okay. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
All right. So do we have any public forum requests, Judy? No.
No.
Okay. All right, that's everything on the agenda. Does anyone have anything else? Since I don't want to hold people here longer than we have to, but we have a couple minutes if we want to cover any items.
So just a quick question regarding the farmer's market. Do we have a table there for those dates, or how's it going to work?
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, and do we have stuff like a canopy or tables, or I know it's early, but
Yeah, the organizers said we can pretty much tell them what dates we want. Roughly once a month is what they think is reasonable for one group. So you and Ed sounded flexible. I might just see if anyone has specific dates that work and group you guys together. But if not, I'll just throw out some. And I am working on finding or making a budget for any physical items that we need. So I believe we have a table, seeing if we have a tablecloth, and a lot of like handouts and flyers and things like that Anna and I can make in-house. So if anyone has ideas, Melissa sent us along a tree graphic that we're looking to recreate so we can throw some stuff together, try to make a brochure and really just get y'all's faces out there in front of people, talk about what you do, answer questions, that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely can equip you with some things to hand out.
all right, we need a drone.
A drone?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe a couple of cellular game cameras. That's the only other thing I think we need.
Ed's got those. You haven't heard about Ed's cameras?
Oh, I've seen many pictures from those cameras.
Judy, maybe we want to go digital.
I think he,
Yeah, forget the flyers.
I'm thinking maybe if we just put a QR code or something. I mean, most people are gonna take a flyer and throw it away, I think.
That's
when
a good
they go
point.
home.
And we are the conservation.
That's
folks.
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It's a really good idea.
Through the
Yeah.
chair, this is Ed. I just want to comment and thank Judy for thinking of this. This is out of the box thinking, and it's the sort of thing that really appeals to me. And I just want to make sure that she gets kudos.
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Thanks, Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think
Anna,
for
for
the
your part.
Yeah, I think for the dates, Judy, since it's so far out, it might be worth just picking like the first Sunday of the month or the last Sunday of the whatever. Just go with one of them and put our name down. And then I think, obviously we have a couple of members who are really flexible, and then other people can kind of jump in on dates that work.
Through the chair, this is Ed. I just want to point out that nothing has been far out since the 60s.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks.
Chair,
Yes.
did we get the Jeff Barnes Sally the Salamander costume back from the cleaners for Heather to wear? I mean,
This would-
after Janine vomited in the thing, it was kind of rough, but I think we were going to get that clean.
I don't know. I'll have to reach out to Jeff. Maybe he'll even come back. for it.
Janine, I don't even want to know that story.
You
I
just
know
have to
Judy
know
can
it's
help out
clean.
with that costume too. I think Judy would look fantastic on the common in the South.
I've been wanting to see
Yes.
it.
At the farmer's market, at the table.
That's funny.
Sally
Yeah, it'll be a good
Salamander
time.
lives on.
What was the first date, Judy, on that for the farmer's market?
Believe June 1st.
June
Let's
1st.
Make sure. Yep, Sunday, June 1st.
All right.
Yeah, I can just sign us up for the first Sunday of the month, and I'm sure they'll be flexible, and I can always jump in. I'll be around.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Great.
Thanks, y'all.
And when you guys are at MACC, I know we got a couple, Jim and Ed, maybe if you see anything good at the tables there, you can kind of like, maybe we can rip off some ideas on what people are using for giveaways or
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea.
keep your eye out.
Ed will report back to you.
Okay. Thanks, Ed. You were
can
just
count on
volunteering.
him.
Nada.
You can count on him.
All right. Okay,
All right, thanks.
well,
See you all.
can we get a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
All right, all in favor, Ed,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Janine,
Aye.
Ted,
Ted is an aye.
Heather,
Aye.
Matt,
Aye.
and I am also an aye. All right, thank you, everybody.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
hey.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.